driving me mad. Actually, not only is that driving me mad, my dad and my father-in-law are driving me mad. They're renovating this place, and they just keep coming in, walking in, making noise, mowing the lawn, cutting timber cornices so they can throw it in the rubbish bin instead of going to actual tip and getting rid of stuff. They would put anything into a bin, these people, just to save $70 from tipping it properly. They'll have an entire house that needs to be knocked down. If my father-in-law's knocking down a house, you can bet that him and his neighbour's bins have got bricks in it of some sort. Bricks, mortar, a couple of roof tiles, crushed up to perfection. He'll get them down to back to sand. He'll bring them back to what they used to be. And then he'll put them in the bin. And then you go, the bin weighs 1.5 tons. Nothing wrong, mate. And you go, there is something wrong. There's a reason why there's tips. There's a reason why there's a recycling bin. There's a reason why you can't put grass into the recycling bin and you can't put plastic into the grass bin. No, all the same shit, mate. Gong, same place. You're like, it's not gong, same place at all, bro. Can you stop with the generalizations here? They don't believe anything. Wogs do not believe anything. I don't know if it's just wogs or boomers. Is it boomers? Because they've just got too much money. This is what happens when you get too much money and you're uneducated. You don't believe anyone because you're like, hey, I made money. I don't need to listen to you, you dimwit. You're renting at the moment. I'm like, yeah, I'm renting, 40 years old. I could barely make ends meet with the inflation station that's going on. To buy a block of land here, everyone needs to turn it into an OnlyFans whore. You know, in Sydney, heaven forbid you move away from Sydney, then you get this. Moved away from your family, huh? You moved away from your family. We brought you, you're like, hey, I can't afford it. You got 7 investments. We're struggling to get into one house. Wow. That's what we get, huh? That's what we get for accumulating a portfolio. These boomers, they don't want to listen to nothing. You go, hey man, we need some quiet. Okay, not a problem. Zzz, 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 for 48 minutes. You're like, you're outside of the wall of the recording studio. You got the whole backyard to work in. Fuck. My finger. Go to the doctor, get that checked out. Nothing wrong, mate. Anyway, this is what we're dealing with. I suppose we'll turn into one of these people one day for our kids, and good luck to them. You know, we won't care by them. We'll have one property, and they'll be renting with 72 people at that point. They'll all have to live in one lounge room in Sydney just to rent. Who knows how they're going to afford it? Yeah, so enjoyed that. Oh, fuck. Donald Trump got shot in the head. What a piece of news that is, man. Wow, live to see a possible president of the American, well, an ex-president, and what do they call it? An ex-president? Former president? Get shot in the ear, which is attached to the head, so it's not really the head. It's an appendage of the head. But let's be honest. What a fucking time we're living in when it had to be a pasty white bloke. Let's start that again. It had to be a pasty white bloke to get up in some type of camo pants onto a tin roof and to use a sniper rifle to try to pick off someone that he hates. Now, I'm guessing the guy that he hates, I'm guessing now, Donnie Trump, DT, I'm guessing he reminds him of his father or a school teacher that bullied his stupid, weak, spaghetti-style ass. Someone has told this guy, hey, bro, you're like some milk left out into the sun. You need to fucking get your game right. And he's gone, oh, shoot everyone. Like the anger, the vitriol, the bitterness. And it's understandable. People get angry like that. But this guy has gone on a roof and tried to take out the president and then got shot in the head. Do you know what, bro? Do you know what the type of person I am? I don't want to see harm upon anyone, okay? But then sometimes, like when you think, if he did that to my family, I don't mind if he explodes into 600 pieces, right? And you go, that's not very Christian of you. Hey, I'm not Christ. just a fucking monkey with a brain and sunglasses on, and I react like that. I don't have that level of spirituality yet in me to go, oh, forgive him. He shot your dad. Nah, sorry, bro. It goes straight back to the jungle at that point. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't got that. I haven't got that yet. Like, who knows? Does that come at 80? Does it come with dementia? I don't know, but definitely not now. Now it's like the fatherhood thing. It's like, come near me. There's going to be a problem. Come near the family. Assassination. You know, get a tissue. But who knows what later on. But if I was Donald Trump Jr., you know what I mean, and he's there watching his father give a speech with a red hat on, yelling at people and saying Biden's the worst person in the world, and then his ear got clipped off. He didn't even get clipped off. I think he just skimmed it. Fuck, bro. Is that divine intervention or not? Yes or yes? That's got to be divine intervention if I've ever seen it. Like, what are the chances to turn your head when a bullet is racing at your head, and it was a fucking good shot, bro? Let's be honest, man. Had he not turned his head, when he pulled the trigger, there's a fraction of a second right there. There's maybe, from where he was to where Donald Trump was, maybe a quarter of a second, and he turned his head in that quarter. What the hell, bro? How did you not at least then believe, I mean, all these scientists and atheists and stuff now that believe there's 72 genders, they're saying that that's chance and luck, okay? Because they're too egotistical to ever even think that anything else could be in control of any of these happenings in life. It's got to be them. It's got to be science, right? And there's a lot of provable bullshit in science, and I can understand how a nice ego could sit into that platform. However, if you've got any type of open-mindedness, then you could say, that's too hard to get right like that. Oh, that's chance. Oh, that's chance. They weren't that fucking open-minded with the vaccine, though, were they? They were, like, very certain about the vaccine. It was like, hey, man, maybe the vaccine's fucking up a lot of people. No. No such thing. Listen to the science, even though it's changing every single day. And you're like, okay, no worries. So this guy turns his head, gets his ear pierced, gets down, comes back up, and starts chanting fight to the people. I mean, that's the biggest hero America has seen for a long time. Now, a lot of people are saying that he's like Adolf Hitler. Now, I'm going to just say, I am a complete political moron. I don't understand politics, and I do not like it, because in order to like politics, you got to want to control people. I don't like to control people. I don't mind controlling them for an hour in a stadium or an arena, trying to make them laugh. It's not an arena yet, but, you know, I'm already speaking it into existence, but a theatre, trying to make them laugh. I'm not going to sit there trying to change policies because I think I know what's best for people. Firstly, when you try to change policies, 50% is going to hate your guts, maybe a little bit less or a little bit more. But that's about how it is, because people go contrarian straight away because they don't like the look of you or the sound of you. They don't even listen to your policies anymore, because shit is chopped up on the internet to suit a certain demographic of people, and boom, it gets put up there, and it's a splice of something which can anger you. That's why I didn't like Donald Trump back in the day. But then I listened to a few more things, and I go, he's a bit of a moron, but still not bad, bro. He's all right. Seems like a decent guy. Yes, he's grabbed the odd ass. Yes, he's danced with gangers. Yes, he's probably pounded the odd stripper and hooker and all of that stuff. Okay, most politicians have. Okay, if they say they haven't, they're lying. A lot of them are on drugs. A lot of them are liars and thieves and heathens. Okay, so I get it. No one's perfect. But you've got to think to yourself, firstly, it's America, it's not Australia. But if it was Australia, I'm voting for Donald over Joe the Corpse Biden. That's for sure. I mean, what's he talking about? He invited Zelensky on stage as Donald Trump. I mean, that's the first thing where if you have any responsibility in your if my dad came up and he goes, all right, next up, we're going to put the president for the Ukraine, who's currently in the war with the Russia. Bring up the president, Putin. Thank you, man. Fuck Putin? Gonna beat Putin. That's how much I fucking concentrate. Come in here. What's your Zelensky? No, Dad, listen, Dad. Gonna take you to the aged care in Bexley now. You're gonna sit there. There's gonna be a little cream caramel. Some type of custard is coming your way. You're gonna have to sit down. We're putting a bib back on you. We're bringing you back to 1958 when the bib was on to 2025. The bib's back on. The custard's back in. The mashed banana's back. You got to get off the stage, Dad. You can't do this anymore. Oh, shut the fuck up. I have 15 investments. Shh. Headlock. Bexley Aged Care. That's it. That's what they should do to President Joe the Corpse, abiding by the law. He's got to go. And his kids, Hunter Biden, who's putting hookers into headlocks, should be putting his dad into a headlock, bringing him to the hotel room and saying, come and sit down here. Don't worry about the crack pipes. Maybe hit that before you go and do a speech. Hit that, go out before the debate. Anyway, this is the type of person I am. I've brought it back. Fuck. Wow. It's a political rabbit hole. I brought it back here. When I saw the kid that shot at Trump, as much as the kid is an absolute mongrel, still felt sorry for him. Still felt sorry for him, bro. Laying lifeless like that on the tin roof, wasted life, could have done something better for humanity. Tried to kill someone that's really done nothing bad for humanity so far, has not proven to do anything bad, hasn't got a gulag, that's for sure. He's not kicking certain demographics into a bucket and setting them on fire like certain people are in the world at the moment. There's none of that going on, right? He's trying to open up the Ford dealership again in Detroit or something like that, and then being a rambling moron, okay? He's a bit of a troll, I get it. But I don't understand this crazy reaction trying to knock someone off like that. Fuck, it pissed me off, bro. And then I saw the dead guy, the shooter, and I felt sorry for him too. Fuck. Why do I feel so? Why can't I just be angry about it? Like I'm angry, and then I saw him, and you know when you see justice being served, you're almost like, fuck. It's like you can't celebrate it because now his mum's got the call. You know, she's probably 50. She's not going to be that old. You know, how's she going to live? Anyway, the whole thing's catastrophic. It's really sad to see, man, to be honest. It's really sad to see. And I hope they sort it out. But the guy's going to win. Like, Donald Trump's going to win this election for sure. If they don't knock him off before this, bro, and there's probably going to be other attempts. Who knows what they're going to do, bomb the car. There's going to be a Diet Coke that looks a little bit tampered with, you know. Who knows what they're going to do. It's sad to see that much unrest. But if anything happens to that bloke, bro, oh, God, America's going to break out into some type of civil warfare. No way, they would not stand that down, especially those people that support him over there with the MAGA hats and shit like that. All of them are strapped up. These cunts are like the army themselves. They're strapped to perfection. These guys are coming out with various sorts of arsenal and artillery. They're not going to react lightly. Oh, wow. Yeah, so Melbourne was great. Caught up with a lot of comedians. Went out to see the Sushi Mango guys at their restaurant again. Really nice hosts, man. Top blokes, great hosts. Took us out for a mad smashing of some food. I got some drinks in me on Saturday night. You know what, man? I got excited. I had these nicotine pouches, you know, the ones that you put on your gum from Sweden. I crunched two or three of those, and it sent me a little bit fucking loopy. I don't know why I got them. I saw them somewhere, and I got a pack. I go, I'll have this, you know, because everyone's talking about them on the algorithm, and I want to see what the goss is about. They say, oh, it makes your brain work good. I've been on nicotine most of my life. Admittedly, a lot of comedy did come out of that period in my life, but I learned how to do it without it. And this time I was sitting in the room. Now, all the comedians are sitting in the same level, next door to each other, like room 101, 102, 103, 104. I'm texting all of them. These guys are all sitting in their room by themselves. No one drinks. No one is meeting up to hang out. They're just chilling out in the room. And I've got music on, listening to, who knows, Playboy Cardi B, listening in my room. Pounding music's up, having a beer, got the nicotine going, my head's spinning, I'm flying in the room like Hunter Biden. I'm Hunter Biden in this room with 3 beers. And then I went out to a Sushi Mango restaurant, had another drink there. When I got back home, went to bed at 1, we had the shows the next day, woke up the next morning, huge headache. Oh, you wake up the next morning with a headache, with that instant regret, and you're like, man, 8 hours ago, I'm flying out here. I'm Superman, bro. Next morning, Christopher Reeve. That's when the wisdom locks in then, when you're like, this is a moronic sport. You can't do this shit. So I had to fucking counter it then. 4 degrees outside in Melbourne, walking from my hotel 6 kilometres out into the distance, like Forrest Gump on a mission, just to get rid of whatever I had done. Drink 2 litres of water. Freezing, raining. I'm zipped up with a hoodie on, just walking. There's people there, white people. There's not one single wog out. White people with no shirt on running through the park. It was 4 degrees. It was so cold. These guys are running. There was a girl with a boob tube and a G-string on. She was running as well. And she had a Camelback on with some Gatorade that she would occasionally suck. Some questions for Vlad this week. Who inspired you comically? Hannah Graham goes, who inspired you comically? If I'm going to be honest, bro, it's probably the people around me, I'd say. I've been raised with some really, really funny people, man. Like my dad is funny. My grandfather was very funny. Probably people around me, man. Like that's as honest an answer as I can give you. Oh, I don't know, man. Like the 90s was funny, bro. People were funny. They didn't take themselves so serious. There was no political correctness back in the 90s. In the 90s, you said and did whatever you wanted. You said if someone was, another way from you, you could just call them that. And they would deal with it themselves. I mean, some of them dealt with it in bad ways, some in good ways. But that's called life, right? But now there's precautions and borders and boundaries are placed so everyone can act in a certain way. And I suppose people were acting in the way of the times back then, bro. The 70s would have been rougher than the 90s, and I'm guessing the 50s probably rougher than the 70s. Who knows, and who cares? But times were different is what I'm trying to say. So the 90s, there was quite a bit of comedy around me. And we were just looser, man. I was like in my teenage years in the 90s, and my dad was funny, dude. My grandpa, my uncles were pretty funny. My friends were fucking hilarious, man. The wogs I grew up with, Dimche, Jovche, Borche, Blagoche, people like that. Like you would, if you've seen them now, not that funny. Let's be honest. But back in the day, really, really funny. The way they would look at things, like half my act is about them. The way they would analyse girls, that was so fucking mental to me. I never looked at girls like that. I still don't to this day. The way they would try to game girls and try to none of them was successful at any of it. But in their head, grab her, right? I'm going to grab her. Like grab means I'm going to go and pick her up. Doesn't mean I'm going to physically grab her. So if you're going to cut that, cut it with the intention of what it means, right? It's slang around here. This is Sydney slang, South Sydney slang. Don't come at me telling me, Vlad is some type of a woman handler. I'm not, all right? Married with kids, piss off. So they'd be like, no, I'm going to go grab Diana, bro. Watch this, bro. And you go up and you see him whispering into a corner, talking to her, and then you just see her go, oh, fuck off, and walk off, right? And he'll come back and he'll be like, move, ganger. You're a little ganger anyway. Who cares? You're a rat. And you're like, hey, Dimche, maybe your technique sucks. You know what I mean? It's like hitting the tennis ball, hitting the net and saying this racket sucks. He's like, no, the technique sucks. You can get over the net if you just knew what you're doing. But these guys, there was this kind of mentality that I grew up with. I mean, I didn't quite fit into it. However, I was raised around it, and it is what it is. So I just had to fit into that. It's not like I go, hey, can I go and hang around with some people that are a bit more like-minded to me? No. That's why I ended up being quite lone wolf licking rivers. And Anthony Salome, the comedian, goes to me yesterday when we got off the aeroplane. He goes, fuck, man, you got a real lone wolf style to you, bro. You really are like that, aren't you? I was like, yes, I'm like that, bro. And I go, what am I lying for? Everything I've said on this channel is a recollection of my life. I don't need to lie, because some guy that passed away in the past, that used to be really funny, he worked in my office, he told me once, if you lie, you have to remember. And I've got a shit memory, so I'm just going to tell her how it is. And he goes, you got a lone wolf style to you, bro. You're like a real comedian like that. I was like, would you think this was an act? What, because I got the sunnies on? People are losing it if you think this is an act with the sunnies. The whole thing's, it is what it is, bro. Same person with or without the sunnies. Just like the sunglasses on. For kind of my signature thing. You know, everyone's asking now, take them off, take them off. You take them off, bet. So probably, all right. Now, apart from them, Hanagram, if you're talking about comedians, obviously the first comedian I had, the first stand-up comedian that I saw properly that I really fell in love with was Eddie Murphy, Delirious. And that was 10 years after it came out. So I think he did it in 86, 87. I watched it maybe 96, 97. So I was like 13, 14 years old or whatever. And, bro, I lost my mind. Thought it was the funniest shit I've ever seen. The imitations of Mr. T, the imitations of Bill Cosby, the imitation of Michael Jackson, all of these major black characters that we grew up loving. And I loved Bill Cosby show, loved Michael Jackson, loved Mr. T. Mr. T in the Rocky movie, you know what I mean? So all of these funny characters. Oh, Stevie Wonder, when he imitates Stevie Wonder with the eyes going like this. I mean, so politically incorrect, talking about gay people. So funny, dude. I was like, this is funny. Now, a lot of people that interview, everyone likes that Eddie Murphy special, so it's nothing special about liking that special. And that's a triple entendre for you. Yeah, so it was him. And then, let's be honest, after him, who was it? That was in the 90s. I wasn't watching a lot of stand-up back then. I'll be honest about that. Okay, so more recently then in the 2000s, I liked Ricky Gervais. So very harsh satire. And a lot of people say that a lot of my stuff is satirical. That's clear and evident. So probably Gervais was another one. I can't say like Dave Chappell or Louis C.K. or any of that. No, I like Dave Attell. I like Dave Attell a lot. He's a recent influence of mine that I look up to. I think he's pretty amazing. He's influential. I like Anthony Jeselnik. I love his stuff because it's like a dark humor, unpredictable. That's really cool. Sebastian Maniscalco, pretty big influence to me for sure. I met Sebastian Maniscalco in 2017. I got introduced to him in 2017, January, and I met him a couple of weeks later. And that's when the band broke up. And that was a bit of a shift in my decision-making to get up on stage because I asked him, should I get up? What do you think? And I'd only met him for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes just talking on the side of this hill in Los Angeles. He goes, man, you seem like a funny guy. You should do it. And I was like, yeah, it's a nice thing to say to someone. But that little kind of penny dropped and I was like, maybe I will do it. It's funny, man. Like someone tells you something like that, you take it on board and you never know what happens. You know, look what happens. So for anyone out there that has anything that they're sitting on, that they have passion for or somewhat a skill or calling or talent, I mean, don't sit on it forever. I mean, you don't have to rush it, of course. Like I tried to set myself up financially a little bit before I did this. I didn't pay off everything and I can't like not work forever, but you got to have, I had a little fucking safe hold, a little sponge, a little soft landing for myself, of course. I've got kids and a wife. I can't be totally irresponsible. Thank God my wife works as well, so we're both working. If she didn't work, then I'd have to do 4 times the amount of shows as well, and that doesn't work out well. Like just doing shows every single night, fucking, you never be with the kids. Anyway, these days, no one can have one income unless you're, you know, the Prime Minister of Australia or something, and even they don't even make that much. So that's probably it, man. I don't know who else comically. A lot of amazing comedians out there, don't really know. What was it like playing arcade machines in the 90s? What was it like playing arcade machines in the 90s? All right, I said that twice. some of the funnest times, probably. But I remember playing Street Fighter. Why is my hair up like that? Bitch, come on, materin. I remember playing Street Fighter at a corner shop, jigging school to go and play Street Fighter. 60 cents for one game, $1 for 2 credits. If you put $1 in, your mate converse you. I was playing with Guile. All my mates would play with... You would either pick Ryu, Ken, or Guile. Like, Guile was like hectic with the sonic booms, the somersault kicks, the Kenny and obviously Ken and Ryu with the Hadouken, Hadouken, and the Hadouken. When it came through, far that was hectic. If you could get a mad combo going and you corner some poor guy that ended up picking E Honda, they're finished. You never pick Chun-Li as a bloke. If you pick Chun-Li as a bloke, that's it. You're getting bashed outside when you walk outside of the milk bar. You can't pick, you couldn't pick. Some people picked Blanca and they would just sit there electrocuting people in the corner. But then when Championship Edition came out, you got the chance to pick Balrog, which was all right, but not that good. But he had a mad punch to his head. Like if you have the huge punch, that was pretty fun. Sagat, you know, and people used to say Sagat and we're not going to say that because we're not going to get cancelled. And you could pick M. Bison as well, who was from Thailand, but he looked like a Bosnian guy. I don't know where they got Thailand from. And who else? Vega. Ooh, jumping off the nets. Fuck, Street Fighter was sick, bro. If you're a real hectic jigger and probably now working for the NRMA, you would be able to clock the game in front of everyone. You'd be able to sit there, focus, you know. It looks like you're doing something else, but you'd be really fast on those buttons and you'd be able to smash someone and then people would line up to try to beat you. But there was nothing worse than getting the right-hand side of the machine. You had to do everything in mirror, and that's the worst. Trying to do hatak-tak-duken, trying to do are-you-ken from the right-hand side was harder than actually trying to catch up on all the work that you missed from jigging school. Truly. Far out, bro. That's a bit. I just did a bit there. If you really jig school with your mates in year 11 and 12 and catch the train out to the city, you go to Time Zone. Time Zone, that was the hecticest place. There were some hectic people as well there. Who knows what type of gangs would come? Asian gangs, Lebo gangs, Wog gangs, even Aussie gangs, bro. Even Aussies would gang up together to have fights on George Street there in the city in Sydney. You used to have to be very careful when you'd go to Time Zone at the front because there were some very questionable characters over there. A lot of them are still working for their mum's soup kitchen now, but back then, who knows? Bashing up people on the street and shit like that. You go to Time Zone, there was one thing that you wanted to play in the 90s, Daytona. Now, was it Daytona 500 or Daytona 5000? Daytona 500? Daytona, let's go away. Is it go away? Daytona machine? I think it's Daytona 500. Please say it's Daytona 500. Daytona, USA. Wow, I'm going to put the picture up. Daytona! What a game, bro. You sit with your mates, there was a 2-seater. You sit with your mates, you always had to pick manual car, intermediate level, and then you go to war with these people. Sliding sideways, shifting gears. The way you'd shift the gears in, the whole machine would rattle because you're really slamming it into place. If you win at Daytona, you're the king. I remember having a mate that I played him 3 times in a row and I beat him every time and he begged for the 4th game. And I said to him, I choose not to race. I'm taking this now to the grave. Like I've hit you 3 times in a row and it's been now over 20 years. He still asks me to play. I will never play again. I've won and that's it. Like you've got to draw the line somewhere and remain the king. You know, don't open yourself up because it was close. It was always within a second. You just slide out the wrong corner. You just clip a little bit and spin. You're finished. What else did we play? Oh, I played the basketball game at Time Zone. If you had any type of balling skills, you'd play the basketball game at Time Zone. You think you're Michael Jordan there, just shooting the balls, getting the tickets, and the tickets would come out at the end. You get the tickets. Then that dance machine came out, and that's when I tapped out. Once I saw Asian kids dancing on there, tapping their feet, they weren't even they had no rhythm or style whatsoever, but they're just tapping every single square on earth. It was like their computer-obsessed brain moved into their feet, and they were just like, and everyone starts clapping them around. I was like, that's enough for us, Wogs. We're tapping out. We can't stand there watching a guy dancing on a bunch of squares. No. On a chessboard or something like that. That's when I tapped out. But they're the games that I played, bro. Not much else. Chris goes, main motivator to get where you are currently. What was your main motivator? I don't know if I've answered this before. Probably just a constant, moderate level of dissatisfaction in life and what I'm doing. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty aware about that side of myself. A little neurotic, which has got more to do with just, myself, man. What I'm doing. I analyze things. Obviously, it's the game that I'm in, man. Can't be a comedian without analysis. So probably that, man. Like, I don't know, man. I was speaking to my dad yesterday, and he was very complimentary about what I'm doing. It's very nice to hear that. I'm quite careful of allowing that to get to my head because I have spent many years failing, for lack of better words, trying things that just never worked, like trying to light a wet log, just never caught fire. Very difficult, lot of getting pumped with humility, you know what I mean? Getting pumped with just getting humbled by life. Fucking hard. Look, I see a lot of comedians, man, and they all get that. They've all got that. They get humbled by the crowd. They get humbled by the industry by itself, which I'm glad that I speak directly to my fans. I thank you guys 10,000 times. 1,000 apologies. Yeah, that's a 90s one there. 1,000 apologies. Now, you don't know what accent that is. That could be North Russian. So, yep. That's what it was, man. Just a chronic, constant lack of, dissatisfied. Just constantly feeling, this is shit. You shouldn't feel like that, man. You shouldn't feel like that. And I tell you truly, speaking from the bottom of my ass, that it is not. I don't feel like that when I do my thing. If I do comedy or video or a song, I meet the fans. It's so the opposite feeling. It's very fulfilling. It feels that I'm in the right lane. It feels like, hey man, keep going. And they tell me the same thing. So my gut intuition and instinct, it says, but this suits you. And they're going, this suits you. So this one guy from the industry once said to me, the cream always rises to the top, and he never helped me once in music. So he was probably telling me that I'm not the cream. And, that's his opinion. He might be right. But he didn't know that I was the cream in comedy. So, which is good. And I could look at what he's doing now and think to himself, hey, buddy, you're still struggling. The cream rises to the top, because he is. And he probably won't listen to me. He'll just continue what he's doing. So that's probably what it was, man. I'd go to real estate. Real estate is it's a sport for aimless people that like money, and that's fine. I'm not obsessed with money at all. I like to have decent things, but I'm a fucking normal person, bro. You give me a Vietnamese salad roll or a pad thai, I'm good with that. I don't need to go to Nobu. I'm happy with Uniqlo pants. I don't need to wear Gucci. I don't need to have an AMG. Now, the Audi's shredded. It's not really shredded, though. So I'm happy to have just the regular shit in life. The house that I'm currently renting, bro, it's a single story, weatherboard house. It's as cold as a witch's tit, but I'm happy with it. Like I could move in there and live with my family for the next 15 years, no problem. Don't need to be on a waterfront. Don't need to have a yacht. Don't care. None of that bothers me. Fuck, man. Couple of Heinekens in the fridge, a good laugh with my kids, a mate come over, a sick video to drop. I mean, selling out a theatre, I mean, that's a big achievement. Fuck, dude, that fills my cup. I would rather work to bring, 1,000 people into a room and have a cracking night of laughter, well, at least an hour and a half or whatever. That's much better than me, like, looking out in to see Ferraris. If the Ferrari comes through what I'm doing, good. Don't care if I never have one. Do not give a fuck. Actually, wouldn't mind having a Ferrari figurine sitting on a wall somewhere in my house of a paid-off home. That's good enough for me. There's a nice Ferrari. What about the one outside? Oh, the one that my son drove the scooter into on the side. It's going to cost $9,500 just to patch up. Nah, fuck the stress of that. I just don't like that dumb monetary stress. I don't need that. So I'd rather the stress of creating something cool, rather the stress of writing or preparing or performing. So that's what the main motivator was, man. If you're in a job, and I met a guy at the airport yesterday, Dave, his name was, right? He kept looking at me. His hair was flickering. All right? I had the sunnies on the hat, so revealing the eyes of the wolf upon thee. And he was there just walking. And he was like, and he looked a couple of times and I saw him. I was like, hey, this guy's got to know who I am. Like, he keeps looking at me. Like, does he want to brawl? Or is he down just like to say g'day? And he goes, hey, man, blah, 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 listen to your podcast. I named my dog Dimche after you made Dimche. I was like, fuck, man, that's pretty crazy to hear that. That's not crazy, but it's super cool, man. Like, that's super cool. I had a guy tattoo. People are going to lose it on his leg. That's super cool, let alone all the other good things that come along with it. I'm just like telling my story and be myself. If you're in a job or in a career and you're not like fucked up where you can't get out, where if you can get out and you want to get out, then you get out. That's all I'm saying. And you do something that you can service community and people better with. Now, always just ask myself this as a litmus test. Litmus? Litmus? Litmet? Litmus test. Are you doing something for the community more than what you were in your previous job? And you got to serve something. You can't serve yourself because we're humans. We make money off each other. You can't make money off a bird. All right? The bird's not going to pay you shit. You're out here, you're going, I'm saving birds. Well, you're going to need someone that loves birds that much to transfer you some shit. Because that bird, only thing it can do is shit on you. The bird's going to go, thank you very much for saving me. Beautiful on the MacPack jacket. A nice little white shit on the MacPack jacket. That's the payment you're going to get. And one day you're going to look in the mirror and go, fuck these birds, bear. Okay? They're not paying me shit. And but my MacPack jacket's been stained. This thing's like acidic and stuff. This shit, liquid shit. So you're going to have to work with people to make a buck. You can't get it any other way. Sorry. Unfortunately, I had to come up to that stark realization a few years ago. My father said, no matter what you do, brother, in order to make a living, you need to work with people. If you're an amazing surfer, the waves aren't going to pay you. Billabong's going to have to pay you. What, you're out there risking your leg in South Africa trying to get a barrel, Billabong's going to be throwing a couple $100K at you, to risk that artery getting pierced open by a great white. You can't fucking avoid that. So I had to work out now, are you serving? Well, not serving, are you just doing something slightly better or more tangible, let's call it, in the gig you're in? With real estate, the answer is starkly no. So that's the main motivator. My wife was the one that was like, baby, you got to go where you are not welcomed. You got to go where you are appreciated. And that's some hippie shit. And I wasn't down with that. I'm like, what? No one gives a fuck about anyone. Don't worry about it. The world doesn't work like that and all of that shit. You could say that, But Donald Trump's running for president, dude. He's more appreciated in the presidency role that he's going for than he is building hotels. So he's a multi-billionaire, hotel-building, golf-wielding freak. And people like him more when he puts the blue suit and the red tie. Very similar to me, actually. Thanks for doing that, man. Kind of nodded the hat. Well, I don't wear a hat, but nodded the head to you ripping off my look. I don't know who did it first, but he's more appreciated there. He's reaching more people. He's giving more value. More people want him around, right? So that's all I'm saying. You know, and not everyone needs to be a Trump. Not everyone needs to be Eddie Murphy. You don't need to be famous. That's not even the fucking point at all. You could be just a fantastic town planner, and you're better at town planning than you are at washing cars. You wash a car and all you're thinking is, hey man, this car wash shouldn't be in this location. This location should have a hospital. Over there, the car wash should be over here. I'm telling you, I'm good with red lights, stoplights, cameras. This is a place where a crosswalk needs to be. This is a speed. Like, you know, people have those brains. They have those kind of spatial engineering brains, bro. You know, and if you're doing the wrong thing, it's like you're a leopard, but it's not probably not a good thing, but you're an elephant, but you're swimming. You're not. You shouldn't be swimming. Swimming is for sharks. You know? As Jerry Seinfeld said, fish are not meant to drive. So when you get out and a fish is driving, it's like, what am I doing here? And that you know that. Your whole instinct tells you, fuck this. You know? Now, you've got to be careful when everything says fuck this, because you will end up a comedian. And that's what happened to me. Every job was like, fuck this. Fuck this. Oh, fuck this. So first, it cannot be managed by anyone. I need to be free. Then you're steeping straight to entrepreneurship or comedian, you know, or porno actor. It's up to you, you know, but you're going to fall into one of those categories. And fuck, it took too long for me. Like most of the comedians I meet, they all fall into it in their mid-20s. You know, I fell into it in my mid-30s. But that's okay. Better late than never is what I say. So, yeah, main motivator is that, just the general dissatisfaction of everyday life, going and wasting your time in a vocation with no interest and like a low to moderate kind of skill set for it, a low to moderate motivation to learn more in that game. That's another thing. If you really like what you're doing, you want to learn more. My wife, she loves learning more, bro. She just fucking reads shit and attends courses and buys books and thickens her profile and her CV, whatever it's called. I don't know why they're saying it in Roman, curriculum vitae. Her resume gets bigger and better. But when you're kind of half-assed about something, you know, you're working for Mobil petrol station as a sales rep, driving around, then that's fine. Like, there's definitely those people. And I'm not speaking to you guys. I'm speaking to Chris, who's asked me that, who's probably a little bit more motivated to find out why and how and shit like that. There are people, and I know a lot of them, that are very happy being the postie. He's super stoked, bro. Give me a fucking simple job. I don't want to deal with bullshit. I want to get my wage. I want to go watch the Dragons on the weekend. I want to fucking chill out and have 6 Jim Beam and Cokes. That's awesome, bro. That is, I've many times thought to myself that would be sick, to feel like that. But who knows whether it's my DNA or my upbringing or some shit that's happened to me. Who knows, who cares? Can't be like that. You know, I can be like that for a short period of time. Like, do you know when I can be like that? After a run of tour. I do a tour. Oh, man, let's kick back with the kids every day, bro. Go to the park. Let's hang out. Fuck riding. Fuck doing any work. I'm cool, bro. Let's go and just have family time, watch movies. After 2, 3, 4 weeks, the whisper in the ear is like, you got to do something, bro. What are you doing? You can't just sit around. You fucking do something. Hey, get up. Get productive now. That's just in my ear, bro. That's just the way my head works. Last one. All right, Nappy, what a name, goes, top 3 things your grandparents taught you. All right, so I'm going to go off the dome. Let me go off the top. Oh, fuck this cough, bro. So, my grandfather would always tell me stories about animals, which was super cool. Well, we sat down and had like salad and a rakia. It was always salad and rakia. A rakia shot, 2 shots, and 2 bowls of salad. Like, you know, those little timber bowls? 2 bowls of salad, 2 shots of rakia. Then we'd have fish. And the fish would have chili sauce. My grandma would be frying the fish. Oh, I miss those days so much, man. Wow, wasn't that long ago? Fuck, dude. So cool, bro. You know, you're blessed if you get to spend time with your grandparents. You know, I got to spend 40 years. So that's fucking amazing. I'm very, very blessed. My first grandparents only got to spend 8 years with one of them, and I miss and, you know, love her. And the other one I got to spend 13 or 14, you know, so not much with my mum's side, with my dad's side more. So one of them, my grandfather was telling me, it was a story about him and his mate getting a donkey, and because they lived about 30 k's out of the village, out of the city, and they had a donkey each, or a moose, or not a moose, a mule or something like that, and they would get the donkey strapped up with a whole bunch of bags, they'd saddle the donkey up with goods from their village, whatever they had. So they were selling, I think they were selling, whether it was wool from sheep, wheat, whatever they were growing, they were selling in the city. And to get to the city was a full day trip. So they would jump on the donkey. It took 1 donkey day to get to the city, right? So they would jump on this donkey. One of them they'd called Murgo, and the other one would be Jurgo, right? They'd get onto the donkey, and they would probably just roll tutun, which is cigarettes, and sit on the donkey and head off to the city. And I remember my grandfather telling me this story, and he remembers it like yesterday. He had such a good brain. He goes, me and my friend took off. Let's just call my friend Svetko. We took off to the city, and we had to go sell this shit. So we go and sell the stuff, and then we bring back stuff we need. So oil, maybe certain cheeses, maybe kolbasi, or things they couldn't manufacture in their small village, because they probably made cheese, feta cheese in their own village. They had milk, no problem from there. They would kill their own chickens and lamb or whatever if they want to have meat every now and then. They would grow their own peppers and tomatoes, and that's how they survived. They made their own bread in the oven. So they were very sustainable for all the lefty freaks out there. Very sustainable. So you'd love my grandparents. They did have a V8 sometimes throughout their life as well, so kind of counted it with that. So don't get angry. Yep, so they went on the donkey. It's a long-winded story, but got to the city, bought whatever they needed, slept the night, and then it's an 8-hour donkey trip back. All right, so it's another donkey day back. So it went over the course of 2 days. And the weekend doesn't matter shit for back in those days. Every day's a weekend. As long as you get up, you put on some Hessian clothes, and you get and tend to the land. In wintertime, you're not tending to nothing. You're sitting inside in front of a fireplace. That's it. You're not doing nothing in winter. Shoveling snow, salting snow around. There's none of that. Making sure all of your stock doesn't die, which is like the sheep in a shed, or a wolf doesn't come and maul them overnight. So just general security over winter. But on the way back, they have to cross a bridge, and the bridge is with timber slats made by a few toothless wogs, and that bridge is not maintained well by no council members. There's no 8 people there standing around with high vis, but actually 2 of them working with their arms crossed, watching people like re-screw these slats of timber in. Nah, it's just a rickety old bridge over a river. And this river was called the Black River, Crna Reka. And my grandfather took his donkey over. The donkeys get scared when they see down through the slats into the water. his little side eye, he's looking down into the water and he's freaking out because he doesn't know these slats are okay. He's like, I'm going for a swim now. I'm a donkey. I don't have fins. I've just got these hoofs. Hooves? I've got these hooves and these things aren't peddling much water. You know what I mean? It's like trying to swim with closed fists. So he's freaking out, Murgo. But my grandfather delicately brings him over the bridge. Shooks, shooks, shooks. Come here, buddy. Little carrot, whatever you need. You know, slap on the ass. Come on over here. Come over here. Slap on the ass of an ass. Okay, so there's a pun for you right there. Brings him over. Now, my grandfather's friend, Svetko, not as delicate with the animal, right? The animal hits the brakes, stops, and this guy goes, come on, bro. And the animal's like, water, man. Water, bro. He's like, you're going to be all right. He's pulling the animal. He's pulling it. Now, these animals got completely saddled up with cheeses, oils, all of this expensive shit that is bartered off at some local market fair. He's pulling it. This animal does not want to move a second. So he grabbed the stick, starts hitting this donkey on the side of the bridge. The donkey freaked out so much, it chucked itself off the side of the bridge into the water. It suicided itself into the water. When it threw itself into the water, it's hit the water. Everything that he bought has gone for a swim itself, down the river. People in the next village are getting extra virgin olive oil. He lost everything. And the donkey just got up on the side bank of the river and just chilled out for a while. So my grandfather was like, you can't force everything. You got to work with it. I was like, well, that's a fucking great story. Thank you very much. The other one was, he said to me quickly, he goes, where did you go? I went down to Melbourne. What for? He goes, what are you doing? I go, just doing comedy. My wife was sitting next to me. And he goes, oh, okay. You're not doing the band anymore? I go, nah. I go, just doing stand-up comedy. He goes, yeah? Is it good? I go, yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. He goes, okay. Are they paying you? I go, yeah. They're paying me. And he goes, oh, okay, up to you. And I was like, yep. I was like, look, I'll show you some photos. I showed him some photos, all these people behind me. 300 people, this is my first shows, 2021. He goes, good. He goes, is this what you're going to do now? I was like, I think so. He goes, okay, good. And I go, look, the internet, look how many people are looking at the page and all of these people follow. And he just goes, all right, but your wife doesn't care how many people follow you on the internet. She doesn't care, mate. She needs help with the baby. He just looked at me, just then looked back up at the sun. And I was like, fuck. I turned to my missus. She's nodding. She's like, he's right. Don't care. You got 1 million followers. Who gives a fuck? If I need someone to warm up the microwave at 2 a.m. because this guy's screaming, I need your help. Fuck the followers. I need help. There's another great bit. The first one's about force. The second one's about support. And the third bit of advice was from my grandmother when let's just say it. Look, my cousin's dating this guy. They've been dating for 20 years. They won't get married, right? And I said to her, why don't you say something to her, or say something to him? And she said, no. She goes, because there was a village, Prikazna? No, she goes, back in the day, in the village, there was a family, husband and wife, with a daughter and a son. Older son, younger daughter. And the daughter got a boyfriend. And every day, this boyfriend would come over and the parents would say to their son, you look after this guy. You give him some rakia, you give him some cheese, you give him, cut a chicken if you need to, make him a little Oporto's dish, whatever you need, olives, this, that, serve this guy. And the guy did it. As a good son, he started serving the boyfriend of his sister, who's drilling his sister, so he's already angry. Now he's serving this guy every day, giving him the best alcohol, the best food. Anyway, he's coming over every day for a year or so. 2 years, the son snaps one day. He goes to the parents after the boyfriend leaves. He goes to the parents, listen, I want to ask you guys something. I'm angry, bro. Every single day, this guy comes over. I'm feeding him. I'm giving him our best stuff, our best alcohol. He's drinking. He's drilling the sister. And then after that, he leaves. And I've got to clean up everything. I've got to take the rubbish out of the house. Why? What am I doing? I want to stop this. And the mother goes, you be quiet, my son, okay? Because he's going to be taking the biggest rubbish out of this house soon. Thanks so much for tuning in, episode 201.